want to bring in John Feehery, a Republican strategist and Political Storm contributor, and Danielle McLaughlin, a liberal commentator. Good to see you both. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. John, kick it off with you. Donald Trump has a town hall style event, similar to the format that we will see Sunday night for the debate. Is this enough to prepare him for Sunday? What do you think he needs to do going into debate number 2?
Well, I'm glad he's doing this practice because he needs the practice. He's already set his low expectations in the first debate, which I thought was not one of his best performances. I would like to see some more preparation for Donald Trump because he didn't really have 90 minutes of material in that first debate. He needs to get beyond the first soundbite and the second and third soundbite, and he also needs to stay on offense in this first town hall meeting with Hillary Clinton. He also needs to connect with voters. I'm going to look forward to seeing how he does. There's a lot of pressure on this debate.
Yeah, Danielle, there's obviously a lot of pressure on both sides here. The email and the Clinton Foundation did not come up during the last debate. Do you expect it to come out this Sunday night? Do you expect that she's preparing to answer questions in that regard?
The answer is yes, Maria, and yes. There's no question that even if the moderator or an audience member doesn't bring it up, that Donald Trump will. I think he has to be careful, though, because if it doesn't come naturally from one of the people in the audience, he has to be careful about how he brings it up, because I think this is an intimate scenario. He's going to have to answer the questions that are posed to him rather than use talking points. And so one way or another, it'll probably come up, but he just has to be careful about not too many pivots and talking points.
I guess it's good that he's doing this town hall event in preparation. That's the way that the debate will be Sunday night taken, but that can't be the only thing he's doing, right, in terms of preparing for this. What do you think?
No, he's definitely doing a lot more preparation. And it's kind of, and according to some of the reports out there, it is kind of acknowledged privately that, you know, he needs to improve upon his first debate performance. Karl Rove has a great op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today about how it's so critical for Trump to win this debate and win it outright to re-energize his supporters and re-energize conservatives who might be on the fence for him, because the Democrats go into this election with such an advantage in terms of their ground game and get out the vote campaign. Yeah. And Karl references, which is really interesting, that before the 2012 election, the day before the election, President Obama was only beating Mitt Romney by 7/10 of 1%.
Wow.
But then he comes out and wins the popular vote by almost 4%. Yeah. But that's the ground game, and that's what he's got to focus on.
I feel, though, like anecdotally, when I speak to people, a lot of people don't want to admit that they're voting for Trump, but as you speak with them, they're more and more saying we want change and rejecting the kind of dynasty situation that perhaps Clinton is suggesting, another Clinton in the White House. What do you think, Peter?
I think there's a powerful latency in what you say, and what I really hope he does in terms of preparation is watch the Mike Pence debate. It's really a guidebook on how to avoid distraction, the ad hominem attacks, stick with policy, stick to your talking points, don't be distracted or lured. I thought that was Mike Pence's greatest gift. He didn't put pressure on Donald so much as gave him a gift of how to carry on.
Yeah, Lee Carter, what are your polls telling you?
Well, I think Mike Pence had an amazing night, and I think what that's doing, I mean, a lot of people are saying it's not going to do anything in the polls. I think it will, because I think it's given people a reason not to doubt Donald Trump and say, you know what, maybe there is something reasonable here, and I'm willing to take the risk. Because, again, as you say, I think this is a vote on a movement, not necessarily on a man. People aren't necessarily choosing Donald Trump. They're choosing change. They're choosing a new day. They're saying government is broken, and I want something to work for me. So he needs to, you know, there's two Donald Trumps. There's the one that's reacting and then the one that's acting. He needs to come out as the one that's acting, the one that is talking about change, the one that is talking about the economy and jobs. He's got the art of the pivot. He can answer the topic and then get on to what he wants to talk about without getting sucked in. And he's got to know that her whole strategy is to bait him.
Right. And he keeps falling for the bait. He's not falling for the bait. John, how important is it for Donald Trump to be declared the winner of the second debate? I mean, if he loses this next debate, that's going to be a big deal.
Well, the first debate was such a disaster. He has to win this debate. I think that's exactly right. And I also think he needs to connect viscerally with the voters in the room, because if he does that, he can connect with voters outside the room. And the fact is that people do want change. If Trump could say he is the agent of change and he's not a product of Washington, Hillary Clinton's going to talk in Washington speak. We already know that. She does that all the time. If Trump can talk in the plain language of everyday people and understand their fears and hopes and expectations for this country, he can win this debate. And I think he will if he connects viscerally with the voters.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think, Danielle, Hillary Clinton is preparing most for right now?
I think she's preparing not to be a wonk. She knows so much, and I think that she also needs to connect on a really human level. She's been criticised for not being authentic. I think she needs to really reach out and connect with people in the audience so that people at home can see the Hillary Clinton as opposed to the Hillary Clinton.
I'll add one thing. Watching a lot of the tape of her on the campaign trail in the past week since the last debate, this is a new HRC. This is not, it might be actually the HRC that people close to her know, but there is a level of energy, and she's very comfortable now.
She is, right.
And you see a kind of a range of seriousness to kind of almost giddiness from her. And that really goes a long way, because that's one of her critical problems with voters.
Right.
People really don't like her or connect with her.
Going into that debate, people were saying she needs to show warmth. She needs to be human. And you're right, after the victory.
Different.
Yeah.
One of the things she's done is, for the first time in a long time, there is humor in what she says. When she has kind of a wry say, I think I did all right. That warms herself to people, and people will react to that.
And I think and the other thing that she's done, which Donald Trump hasn't yet done, she's taken some responsibility. She's apologized. She said, I'm not a natural politician. I like to get to work. I'm the hardest worker that you'll find. So she has some self-awareness. She is demonstrating, I think, a little bit of self-deprecation, which is something that people connect with. To your earlier point, Dagan, you know, Dems do have a big advantage in the Electoral College. We have this blue wall. This is going to be something that Trump has to move the needle on. These very latest swing states show him dipping in North Carolina, in Florida, and Pennsylvania. This is a really, really important night for him.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, we will be watching, that's for sure, and we'll have live coverage. John Feehery and Danielle McLaughlin, thank you so much. We appreciate your insights. Fox Business